You are looking live at Chef Jim Pacini, who is in the kitchen right now teaching us how to carve a turkey. Now, Chef, before we get started, you said that there is one thing we have to do in between moving from the oven to the cutting board. What is that?
We have to let it rest 7 to 12 minutes. We want to let it cool down just a little bit, let the juices solidify, let them equalize or distribute evenly throughout the protein, and let it just kind of calm down. When those oils are hot, when those juices are hot, they're thin and they're going to just run all over the place. Okay. So you want to let it cool down just a little bit.
So what do we do next?
We're going to start by removing all the dark meat. I've actually removed the wings already, and now I'm going to take these legs and thighs off. So I'm just going to get my knife and I'm going to carve that skin down, and I'm going to open that up, and I'm going to get all the way down here to this hip, down here, all the way down, and because it's nice and cooked, that joint's nice and loose, so it comes right out.
Okay.
So we're going to take that off. We're going to do that with both sides.
And do we just leave these on our platter, or do we put it on the serving tray? Or?
We're gonna take all the meat off of those bones. I don't like to put bones on my presentation platter. I just don't like it. Okay. Even though you always see like the old time movies where they're eating like the whole drumstick. Mm-hmm. I haven't ever seen that actually in my real life. So we're gonna take all that dark meat off those. But I'm gonna move these over here out of our way so we can get on the breast meat, the light white meat, which I think happens to be everybody's favorite.
All right, so you said that we have to get that wishbone out of there to make sure that the breast meat comes off just right?
Right in this neck cavity, if you reach in here, you have to reach all the way up in here, you'll feel that wishbone. I've actually already removed it, I've pulled it out already.
Okay.
But it's right in there, and it actually follows that natural V of that neck opening. So you reach up in there and you can feel it. Once you find it, just get your finger behind it and just follow it all the way down on both sides, and then you can just pull it right out. So now what we're going to do is, this is what we call the breastplate or the keel plate. We're going to take our boning knife, we're just going to go right down that breastplate, and we're going to take this whole piece of breast meat off in one big chunk. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a little piece of cartilage right there. We're just going to go on the on the meat side of that right there. Okay. Get all that meat off. A big chunk of meat right there, we're going to want to get that. That's just all moist, juicy meat.
Now you were saying something about cutting against the grain.
Right, whenever you carve for protein, you want to cut against the grain. So the grain on this runs this way, and so we're going to cut it across it. I'm going to take both breasts off, is that okay?
Yeah, of course.
That way we can get this carcass out of our way. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to take these, we've got a nice sharp chef's knife here, and we're just going to cut that into our slices. And if your knife is sharp, it'll go right through that skin, and the skin will kind of stay in place, which is what you really want, because that's what gives you that nice, beautiful presentation on your finished platter.
So when it comes to tools, I mean, you need to make sure the knife is sharp.
Right. Sharp knives are such a key in the kitchen. It's actually safer to have a sharp knife than it is a dull knife. You have a tendency with the dull knife to really saw and really have to apply a lot of pressure. And so if your knife's sharp, it'll cut through what it's supposed to. And so you actually will be able to maintain better control of your knife. Or with a dull knife, you don't actually have that. So I like to keep that breast like that. I think it looks really pretty. And that's actually how I always put them on my platter. And I actually have the platter that we had this one on earlier. So what we're going to do is we're going to show you how we can take that platter that had our stuffing and everything on it. So we showed it off for that Norman Rockwell picture for the family. teased everybody while we're letting it rest. Take that platter. So we still have our oranges down there as a base. Okay. We have a little bit of our stuffing down there as a base. And we just take these turkey breasts.
That looks beautiful.
And we can go like this and put both our breasts on there.
Oh, that looks amazing.
And then we can take some of our dark meat that we've been pulling off and put it right there in the middle. Because, you know, my father-in-law loves dark meat. He doesn't even like the breast meat. So there's some turkey for him. There's all that white meat on there for everybody.
Picture perfect.
And if you want, you can garnish that with some fresh parsley. It's not necessary, but if you want to get some green on there, you just stick some little pieces of parsley in there like you're doing a floral arrangement and you're good to go.